Chapter 5. Settling into the 18th arrondissement in Paris and getting my bearings. I took the Sunday afternoon TGV to Paris, 2 heavy suitcases all the way. What seemed reasonable in theory turns out dumb in practice. Even having them wheeled didn't help. They'd wobble if I went too fast, catch my heels, scrape my shoes off, pull my arms out of their sockets, negotiating the escalators and tunnels of the metro, and then 6 flights of stairs to my apartment. Next day, a bright, sunny Monday, my first day in Paris. I found a cafe with a terrace and had my first 10 coffees of the day, smoking my rolled cigarettes and letting it sink in. Like George Orwell, Oscar Wilde, Ernest Hemingway, and Jim Morrison, I was living in Paris. I knew I had to get a job, of course. It was a priority. But I'd worked hard over the last few months, so I'd tried to enjoy the experience of being in Paris and get to know my way around before going about it. It wasn't until the end of October that I started teaching again. So between September until early November, I was busy sorting things, and if I jump from one idea to the next idea in the telling of this story, you know why. It started with a CV, translation through a friend of mine, then a copy of French Yellow Pages online, and a list of 20 private language schools in Paris. To post CVs and wait would have been the obvious thing to do, but I didn't have time to wait. I wasn't the only English teacher in Paris looking for a job. I needed to show initiative, not only to potential bosses because they didn't give a damn if I was alive or dead, but to me, to myself, to prove to myself I could do it. Armed with Hachette Paris, I spent the best part of 5 days walking to each and every one on the list, CVs in envelopes, ready to pop one off at reception or through the letterbox. And I was also prepared to be interviewed on the spot, to take the bull by the horns and declare enthusiasm. You can't write character, dynamism and motivation into a CV, though many in France think you can. Those 3 things are in your face, your voice, your expression, and your body language. I traced my local job centre in the 11th, near Place de la République, and went every day to use their internet to seek out jobs. My first port of call was actually Fulton Street Institute, near Place de l'Opéra. I wasn't enthusiastic, and hadn't gone through all the rigmarole of quitting one Fulton Street Institute in Angers to go straight into the same bad system. But I knew the FSI ropes and figured I might be able to handle any part-time they had for a little while until something better came along. The FSI Paris office was a million miles removed from the FSI Angers office. No windows, little light, and instead of teaching rooms that could seat up to a dozen at large oval tables, teachers and students were crammed into airless cubicles, the constant noise inside matched only by the constant noise on the busy streets of Paris.